Motherfuckers and motherfuckettes, we are gathered here today in loving memory of TNA. I'm sorry, guys, I can't do this. Fucking, I made a video about Eric Young and Bobby Roode getting the fuck out of that piss poor fucking company, TNA. And I don't know what overcame me, but I'm overcome with the hate. The hate of 1,000 men resides within me now. I realized how much I hate TNA. I stayed away. I've been a good boy. I stayed away for months and months up into making that video yesterday. And I realized that TNA deserves so much more hate. Yeah, I mean, this company failed so miserably, so fucking catastrophically that it cannot be put into words. I mean, holy fucking shit. They've lost everybody. AJ Styles. Where is he? WWE. Austin Aries. WWE. Samoa Joe. WWE. Sting. WWE. Remember when the TNA marks, they used to come at us, and they used to say, "Oh, you guys are WWE fanboys. TNA's where it's at. TNA's the alternative." And the thing was about this, and you guys know that I was always the guy on the front lines defending WWE, saying that, and the funny thing was, I never once wasn't bashing WWE in my vids. I think if anybody was bashing WWE, it had to be me. It was funny how they used to come at me when I'd make a TNA vid, but try to act somewhat unaware that they didn't know that I also made negative WWE videos. Or it's like, imagine if WWE was great, they'd still say TNA was better and that I was a fanboy for not liking TNA. So they would expect me to, talk shit about a good product. Basically, TNA could do no wrong. They were the best. They never had any Claire Lynch storylines. No, nothing like that. It wasn't like they had a lame ass Ace and Eights angle that went on for over a year that nobody even got behind. They were losing ratings. When Vince Russo was their consultant over there, they were getting 2.0s. I didn't really care for the product at that time with the main event mafia, but they were doing better. They ran Russo out of there, and suddenly the ratings started to fucking plummet, and they had plummeted ever since. They started pushing guys like Eric Young and Bobby Roode, so no wonder guys like Samoa Joe got their asses out of there. They're actually going to sit around while a fucking schmuck like Eric Young gets pushed. Fuck no. That guy ain't even going to end up in the WWE. He ain't good enough. What the thing is, what's fucking hilarious is they used to gloat about all these guys. Christopher Daniels, he went back to Ring of Honor. AJ Styles, he's now a big star in WWE. He's never coming back to TNA. And TNA ain't even going to last that long for AJ to even second guess himself. I feel like in the next minute I'm going to sneeze and TNA is going to be gone. I mean, for fuck's sake, don't go to the bathroom. TNA might go out of business. Any day now, I'm expecting the announcement on a wrestling news site. TNA goes out of business. And we're all going to be celebrating in the streets. We're going to be throwing up confetti. If you thought New Year's in Times Square was a big celebration, wait till TNA goes out of business. We're going to be having fucking parties in the YWC. We're going to have big time parties. Oh, yeah. Funkasaurus. Bradosaurus. We're going to have massive parties here on the Brad Rules channel because TNA going out of business, it's like the resurrection of Jesus Christ. It's a wonderful moment. We should have a holiday. Let's have a national holiday. The day when TNA goes out of business, everybody should just get together and fucking dance. I mean, really, you know, TNA is the most sorry fucking excuse for a wrestling company I've ever seen. Wasting all that fucking money on a guy like Kurt Angle, for example. And nobody's even going to remember any of the matches that he has there. When TNA goes out of business, hold on to the TNA DVDs that you got because they're probably going to be $200 on Amazon. Because people are like, oh, I hope WWE buys TNA. WWE has no use for TNA, and they wouldn't buy their pathetic tape library. Those matches, nobody even gives a fuck. It's like none of them even happened. And all they did was wrestle for toy belts. Even the fucking belts that are sold in Toys R Us, the fake styrofoam plastic ones, have more prestige than the TNA title or the fucking X Division title. That looks like a fucking piece of garbage. I mean, you want to make fun of how WWE's like Divas title or the tag title belts look like that big fucking penny. Take a fucking look at the TNA belts. They don't even fucking look real. They look like pathetic indie belts. They looked okay when the company first started, but for fuck's sake, they turned into fucking jokes. These belts don't mean anything. They were worn by Eric Young, of all people, and Bobby Lashley, a failed WWE wrestler. See, that's all WWE was ever good for. Was always just, taking in WWE's raw sewage. Basically, every single time WWE flushed the fucking toilet, and released a fucking wrestler, they used to just fucking sign them. Chavo Guerrero, no one even gave a fuck about this guy. All he was used table scraps from Eddie Guerrero. And what do? They put him in TNA, and people are supposed to care. Mike Knox, all these guys. TNA vowed to make them big stars. Oh, Mr. Kennedy, we're gonna, you can't even call him Mr. Kennedy. It's Mr. Anderson now. And what do? They just make him a guy among many other guys and aces and eights. Made him into a fucking jobber. I mean, for fucking God fucking sakes, could they do anything right in this company? Yeah, I mean, every single thing turned into a fucking catastrophe. Sting, the big legend Sting, one of the most popular wrestlers of all time. Now WWE has fucked him up as well, made him into a fucking, just joke basically in WWE. But how much worse was he in TNA? Being the Joker, fucking, how could you make a guy like Sting dress up as the Joker? I mean, this guy is a legend. How many world titles has this guy won throughout his career? And you're gonna just have him dress up as a fucking Batman character? I mean, this is okay if this was some random indie wrestler dude they're trying to get over. But instead, what do you got? Fucking Sting dressing up as the goddamn fucking Joker? A legend, a guy that wrestled in the fucking 80s against Ric Flair and other legends, against Hulk Hogan and Macho Man. And you're having him dress up as a fucking Joker. Get the fuck out of here. I can't wait for this fucking company to die. It's just, I know, no, Brad, don't watch it. I don't watch it. But just it being there and it's still existing on YouTube and everything, and, people still talking about it, that's why I can't avoid it. They're just so pathetic. It really is. I just fucking ended. It should have never even been created to begin with. All you had was this was Jeff Jarrett's jealousy. Fucking a jealous guy that couldn't get over in WCW, was a world champion that nobody wanted to see as world champion. And what did Jeff Jarrett do out of jealousy because McMahon wouldn't hire him back to WWE? He makes his own wrestling company, but he makes it fucking in Nashville, and people have to pay $10. I was one of the goofballs who paid $10 a week to watch this fucking shit. And look where we are now on Pop TV, motherfuckers. Get the fuck out of here. You know, TNA, I will give them this. They did come a long way, but just they came a long way to fail.